Hi, everyone. Landry Ethredge here with Ethredge Counseling Group, joined today by Dr. Etta Gantt, who is going to talk to us about communication styles, specifically what's called the directing zone. I'm really interested to hear about the zones. Can you just give us an overview of the zones and then tell us what is the directing zone specifically?
Yeah. So the three zones are the receiving zone, that's more of the listening zone, the quieter but not silent side of the communication, the mix zone, which is a staying in a back and forth between listening and speaking, receiving and directing, and then the directing zone, which is you are leading the way, you are in charge, whether it's expressing a boundary, whether it's just telling everyone about this great idea that you have. It doesn't have to be like directing, telling someone, no, no, no. It's also just being directive, it's leading the way. I've got this great idea. Hey, I've got this intervention. Hey, I had this vision I want to share with y'all. Let's see how we can make this song a reality, whatever it is.
I love it. You defined in your article, you said assertiveness looks like, well, first before going into that, so in the directing zone, there's sort of a healthy version of that and an unhealthy version of that, is my understanding. Can you kind of walk us through what that is?
Yeah. So the healthy version is assertive, clear, and direct communication. Direct and directive. So direct implies you're getting straight to the point, and directive implies you're leading the way. Whereas the aggressive zone is not. It could be clear, but most likely, like that's not the shiny part of it. And it's usually more hostile or threatening, feeling kind of like bullyish. Might even include like name calling, putting someone down. And it is not an effective form of communication. It may silence someone or bully them into doing what you are asking of them, but less likely to have like a long lasting, meaningful change because it's feeling forced upon someone, if that makes sense.
That could look like interrupting, talking over, dismissing, kind of just
Mm-hmm.
taking up all the all the space in the conversation. So you said in your article, you defined assertiveness as clarity plus respect, which I love. Clarity plus
Mm-hmm.
respect. Can you explain what that looks like in like everyday communication and why that's such a vital skill?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, so clarity meaning it's very clear on what you're asking of someone. And it's in a
Just guessing. They're not trying to figure out what you meant.
yes, yes, very clear. They know exactly what you're trying to say. And you're meeting that person with respect, even if they've done something that has upset you. Um, And it's hard to do that when you are maybe feeling ungrounded or upset, which is why sometimes, if possible, if you can take a minute to calm yourself down before you communicate. I mean, a great example would be thinking about like a parent and a child. The kid has just done something bad and it's time for you to set some boundaries, but they're safe in this moment. You know, you're not pulling them out of the road in this moment or whatever it is. You take a few deep breaths or step away and then you express it clearly. We
Mhm.
cannot walk into the road at any time of the day without an adult around. We, whatever it is. But saying it with calmness, maybe even starting with, I know you were just really excited about getting your ball, but we can absolutely not walk into the road. Um, Whatever. Yeah, very clear. Versus, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Da, 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 da. The message is not going to get received other than feeling like scared and that they've done something wrong.
Shame, like that's shameful. So that respect, I respect you as a human being. I care about you. I'm going to talk to you in a kind way while
Mhm.
still being crystal clear about what's being said. There's not going to be any guessing or needing to mind read or anything like that.
Yes.
Um, Many people confuse assertiveness with aggression, and I have seen that in the therapy room as well. Particularly, I think for people who have a history of being passive,
Mm-hmm.
assertive
Mm-hmm.
can feel aggressive or mean.
Mm-hmm.
But what would you say the difference is between assertive and aggression? Assertiveness and aggressiveness.
Well, I don't want to use labels, but aggressiveness, yeah, it is more threatening. It is more demeaning. Whereas assertive, right, that respect piece is negating that. You're just telling someone what you can or can't do. It's honestly maybe nicer sometimes to be assertive, right? Versus someone asks you to the party, you know you're not going to go, oh, well, maybe after this, blah, 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 I might swing by and da 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 da. Versus like, no, I can't make it.
Mhm.
Right? They might not. Oh, that might not feel good, but at least they know, and they're not waiting around all night in the back of their mind, like excited for you to show up, hoping you're going to be there. Do they set out a placemat for you? You know, right? It's being clear in the moment versus prolonging the discomfort that they'll have to
Clarity
feel.
plus, again, clarity plus respect, as you said. Uh, let's see. When someone tends to shrink back or push too hard, what are some ways that they can build better communication skills when maybe you tend to do one or the other? Uh, what's the
Mm-hmm.
first step in sort of building a healthy directing zone style of
Mm-hmm.
communication?
Always, again, we're always going to communicate best when we're feeling grounded, not overwhelmed or stressed, like not exhausted, because those are our defaults. Like I know personally, when I'm totally exhausted, I'm more likely to have a hard time setting my boundaries. It's like instead I just put more and more, say no less and less, which is counterproductive because I'm like doing more and more this, not like this week, but in general, in a week. And so getting myself grounded helps me to be like, oh, wait, okay, too much on my plate. I have to say no. Versus when I'm already exhausted, it's like I don't have for. I go to my default, which is passive.
Yes.
Um, but so that's the first thing, is just checking in with yourself and trying to get yourself more grounded and clear. And then the other is, like I was saying before, when you find your voice, it usually comes off a little wonky. The first time you ever set a boundary or say no, it might come across, it might be a little bit fall short, or it might come off a little aggressive because all of a sudden you're saying it for the first time. So you have to give yourself time to fine tune your voice. I always tell people the first time you find your voice, it comes out a little wonky.
Yes.
Um,
Well, thank you so much, Etta, for talking to us about this. If for anybody listening who wants to work with Etta, you can head over to LandryEthridge.com and schedule a free consultation. Thank you again. Thank you so much.